Hello and welcome back to Hudson Auto Films. Today is a slightly different video as we're not just working on one car, we're working on multiple cars and projects and logistics. For those of you who've got multiple projects scattered all over the place, you'll know that every couple of months or even every few weeks there is a need for a day of reckoning to clean up all the messes you've made, to do all the jobs which you said you'd get to next week and just get a handle on everything. Well, for me, that day is today. Things on the agenda today are we need to go pick up the Reliant Robin from the bunker. For those of you who don't know, I rented a bunker on an old airbase. I no longer rent it now, so I need to go clear my stuff out. I've got most of it out. I brought the Lancia home, but I just need to get the Reliant and a couple of other bits. And once we've done that, we need to check out the Lancia, see if we can get it running. I think it may have sustained some engine damage from its move from the bunker back to here. I'll explain why in a little while. I really hope it hasn't, but we need to check anyway and establish where it is at, and we'll talk a little bit about that project. And finally, there is a new arrival for one of the projects, a donor, which we'll talk about. So all sorts of things, just general catching up, seeing where everything is at, showing you some new things, fixing some broken things, all that fun stuff. So let's crack on and see how much we can get done. Unfortunately, I couldn't film too much when I got to the base, but I managed to get the Reliant onto the trailer, which was quite tricky as there was no centre to the trailer and I just had two ramps. Managed to get it on with a jack ramp and get it strapped down. As you can see, it is a flower power Reliant Robin, which is not to everyone's taste, but it's certainly very cheerful, which I think the world needs. So yeah, that's good. This is little Ralph, who helped a little bit, and this is John and my dad, who proceeded just to watch me struggle. So yeah, this is my last time at the bunker for probably a long time. It is being preceded by my friend Alex. Those are all his smart cars. This MG is something we actually share or we are mutually invested in, which is actually for sale. So if anybody wants a light project, let me know. But yeah, the airbase has been a really cool place to be. It always felt slightly wrong to be driving down a runway. Felt like I was going to get in trouble, but cool place. And yep, managed to get it home in the miserable rain, so I took a little bit of a break and thankfully the sun came out. So now that is all done, we need to investigate the Lancia. So what has happened to the Lancia? When we went to pull the car out of the bunker, it was seized solid in its position. We initially assumed, oh, it's in gear. It wasn't in gear, so we thought. And then we thought, okay, it must be seized brakes. So a pal of mine proceeded to tow the car out of the bunker with his Landrover. It was attached to an A-frame, and the car probably only went about 500 or 600 meters. And then we smelt Lancia. He stopped, we opened the bonnet, we looked inside, and the engine was hot. It spat some oil out of the breathers, and upon further inspection, though the car was in neutral at the gear stick, the linkage had disconnected, so the front portion of the linkage was actually engaged, so the car was in gear. What gear, I'm not sure. Working off the worst case scenario would be first gear. So the issue in hand is, has the car over revved? Well, I'm not sure, because I think really it wasn't being towed any more than 20 miles per hour, which obviously I wouldn't think 20 miles per hour is pushing the red line in something like this. Either way, it's not going to have helped the car. It's going to have caused wear. I just hope it's just relatively light wear, but we need to check. We need to see if we can get the car started and just see how it's running, basically. Things like this are quite disappointing, especially with this car, because I have been quite diligent in not starting the build, because I've been trying to get every single part I need in order to restore it. And I had just about got there, and then this happened. So, and it takes quite a long time with these Lancias to find body panels and all this sort of thing. But I do have everything. Now, hopefully I don't need to get an engine as well. But let's see. If I show you the engine bay, you can see it has been coated with some oil. It's just got that glisten to it. You can see it's kind of spat it in various areas. Which is, yeah, just a bit worrying. I think that's the most significant part. I wouldn't have thought being towed at that speed would have caused damage, but I'm just shocked at how much oil was shot out. So let's connect a battery and see if we can get it running. I don't know if it's just me or if this is everybody who has multiple classic cars, but The thing which always seems the most scarce is batteries. I find myself always swapping the same batteries over to things, which is, I should really just buy some batteries, but yeah. I'm not sure if that was always here or if that is from this incident. It looks very, very old, so I don't think that is from this incident. Right, now we've done that, let's check the oil and see if it's still at a good level or if we need to top it up. If I can find the dipstick. Too many bloody cars, too many dipstick locations. Ah, there you are, you bastard. Okay, oil level is good. It's more or less at the max line, which is promising. Again, it was such a brief incident. You know, I don't think much oil came out or much wear could have happened, but it's still just nice to be sure. Okay, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit. This hasn't been ran in quite a while. Just going to put a little bit of fuel anywhere but the carb. Nice. Right. Here is the moment of truth. Oh, painful. Oh, no, no, no. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, where are you? There is no... Where are the bloody... Oh, stop. Stop. There is no rubber on these. Oh, that was a nice scratch. There are no wipers on that, so that was just metal scratching on glass. Oh, you like that? There you go. Nice. Okay, right. Now we can try starting the car. Come on, little Lancia. Yay. She lives. Maybe. She seems happy. I mean, she's very cold, but this car hasn't been started in maybe 5 months. So I'll just let it warm up and see if things level out, and then maybe we can try and take it for a small drive. As long as I'm accelerating a bit, we're fine. But it doesn't want to do anything. It idled for a while, it just decided to give up. Now it's not idling. But it seems happy enough. The second you give it any kind of acceleration, it's off. And yeah, it's alive. I'm not concerned. I'm going to park this up and we will talk about build plans for this, because that is coming up relatively soon now. For those who've been watching the channel for a long time, this was actually the first car to properly feature, that and the other Aston. The reason it disappeared is because it became apparent that parts are actually very hard to get hold of. You know, they're unusual cars and there's not many left and they rust a lot. So in the case of this, which mainly needed body panels, it's been a challenge to find everything. And with this restoration, I wanted to do it slightly different to other cars I've restored. Usually, as you see on the channel, I kind of build and buy parts as I go. With this, I really wanted to get all the parts that were needed before I started. First of all, because I knew it would be hard to find all the parts. And second of all, it's just really nice to know everything you need more or less is there in front of you, and it's just up to you to put it all together and make it all happen. So I'm basically at the point where I've got all the parts now. The parts have come from far and wide. This piece in particular, which I'll show you right now, I actually bought in America and brought it back home with me in my luggage. So that was fun. but we're almost there. Build plans for the car have slightly changed. Initially I was going to try and go for this deep green and something quite classy, and I realised actually with this car I want to do something a bit more usable. I don't want it just to be this gleaming thing, I want to be able to use it a lot. But I started getting more and more invested into the Lancia rally era, and obviously they did use these. And though I don't want to go down the whole route of rally liveries and all that sort of thing, because ultimately this is just the little engine, it's the 1.3. So to pretend it's like this big beast of a rally car when it's just ticking along underneath there, just seems a bit silly. I would like to go for a sort of all seasons approach. So I think I am going to paint it white, again in its original colour, and then I'm going to put these wheels on it because I think they're really cool. All seasons tyres, put a little roof rack on it, maybe a spare wheel on the roof rack, pair of skis. I'm actually crap at skiing. I'm going to keep the interior as is. It's bright orange, it's in really good condition, it's really cool of its time. So I'm going to keep that how it is. And then I just want to take it on a European road trip. It will be, obviously it's a bit gutless being a small engine, but I think it will be fun to tick around in and just have a bit of an adventure. So in terms of the route of the build, obviously we've more or less got all the parts we need now, which is excellent. So really it's stripped down time. The thing standing in my way right now is space. The barn is full and I want to do this properly, hence why I've spent this long sourcing parts. I want to be able to get it in the barn, strip it and just keep going. There's nothing more frustrating, which is something I'm finding right now, than having a car which has no wheels on and is completely immovable really, which then the next process of the build can't happen for some time. So I'm doing my absolute best to make this a very well organised restoration, one which is just really fun, which is efficient, and yeah, so that's what's holding me up on this at the moment, is space, but we'll get to it in the next few months, by summer I'm sure. And I'm really excited for this one. It's unlike the other cars, it's just a lot more manageable. I know it looks rusty, but it's rusty in all the right places. Everything's quite easy, and like I said, I've got everything I need, so it's going to be really good, and it's just a great car just to poodle around town in, and I'm excited. It's felt like rather a long winter, but now the sun is finally out and it makes working on cars so much nicer, so that's going to be nice. And that brings me on to this car. But don't worry, this isn't a totally new project. This is to assist an existing project. This is the Landrover Discovery we're going to use as the donor car for the 4x4 Aston. It is the perfect car to use for this because the body is completely rotten beyond any chance of economical saving. But the chassis is good, needs a couple of patches, but on the whole it's very good, and the engine is very strong. So that is really good. If you need any more convincing, this is kind of what we're working with the body. And as you can tell, the inside is full of hay. It has been a farm car for a very long time. It has not been on the road for a very long time. So it's not sacrilegious, it's making two broken cars into one usable car. 4x4 Aston build is one which I've mentioned very briefly when I showed you all the £200 V8 Vantage body that I had. I wasn't joking, we are going to put it on a Landrover chassis, which is going to be really fun. And again, actually now I have everything I need to do this. The only thing which is stopping me is continuity, which is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. The fake Aston Scimitar build has captured a lot of your imaginations, and it has mine, and I'm really excited to crack on. But because it's all happened quite organically and in real time, I bought the car on impulse and discovered it was beyond fixable. We decided on the Scimitar based on the comments essentially of the last video. So I'm in the process of arranging all of that. So it's very hard for me to come out, in the next couple of weeks with another video where we make progress on that, because it's a complete new build which I didn't know was going to happen. So initially I was holding off to build the 4x4 Aston until the Scimitar fake Aston build was done, but the option is up to you. If you want me to start working on this as well, that's fine, because I have everything I need to build this, and it's not going to be a tremendously long build, especially because I don't need to wait on anything. It's all just there waiting. So let me know if you want me to start on that, or if you'd prefer to see the Scimitar build out the way first, and yeah, we can crack on. I'll be building this anyway in the background, so it's more of a question of whether you want me to start releasing it now or once another build is out the way. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you're not sure at all what I'm talking about, this is my 2007 V8 Vantage Rec. It is just a shell, and for a variety of reasons it can never be seen on the road again, so I can't rebuild it as an Aston Martin, but it is a body. and I want to mount it to a Landrover chassis. So that is the plan, and I'm very excited by it because it just is ridiculous and silly, and sometimes that is just nice to have a fun project which just is fun. Whilst we're talking about builds, the fake Aston, which is now going to be a shooting brake, as has been largely requested by you all at home. What is happening with that? Right now, I have not made significant progress on the build itself. Obviously, like I just mentioned, it was decided in the last 2 weeks by you as a community and myself that this shooting brake thing should happen. So I've been in the process of sourcing a scimitar. I had one, it fell through. Now I'm waiting on another one to arrive, but essentially I'm just waiting for everything to turn up here so I can start cracking on. Really excited by it. Another thing I need to do is I need to shift this Capri chassis. It's taking up a lot of space, so that needs to go. So that's something I need to work on the next week. As you can tell, space is always limited in here. I've also been a bit limited the last couple of weeks due to some health things, so I haven't been able to do manual labour, but this is coming in the next 2 weeks as well. It'll be on the rotisserie and we'll be able to make some progress on that as well. And well, that is a wrap for today. I'm now back home and I forgot to film an outro, so I'm doing it right now. So thank you for being patient and understanding. Today was just needed to clear everything up and get things sorted. And as I mentioned, I've had a bit of a health struggle the last couple of weeks, so labour has been hard to do. But in the next episode, I'm pretty positive it will be getting the Aston on the rotisserie, which will be cool, very satisfying, a big moment for the build, and we'll be able to properly inspect it for the first time. Hopefully by that point as well, a scimitar will have been acquired, so we can crack on with the shooting brake build. And finally, the question I'm leaving to you guys is, do you want me to start uploading the 4x4 content, or do you want that to wait until the completion of the shooting brake? But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. And until then, take care.